So one of the things I've come to understand a little more about myself recently is the, I guess, warped relationship I have with productivity, and particularly how it ties in with my experience of faith. And that's something I just want to talk a little bit about in this video, something that I have self-titled this video as production based salvation. There are kind of two ways that this shows up in my life. The first is this. um, I've started noticing about myself that whenever I read something or watch something or listen to something and I'm met with an interesting idea or some exciting bit of information, my automatic reaction every time is, what can I produce from this? How can I make a video out of this, or put this in some kind of talk, or write something or record something about this? My automatic immediate reaction is always, what can I produce? And that's not necessarily bad. I think in part it comes from a natural desire to share and to create and to contribute, make a positive difference. If I find out something exciting, I want everyone to know about it. If I have creative ability and an idea, then I ought to create something. But I think when I look at myself, I know it's more warped than that. And I think it comes more from a need to produce. Like, I find it's pretty rare that I receive some new information or an interesting idea and just let it sit. I've read some pretty good books over the past month or so, and I find that almost constantly as I'm reading, my subconscious is working and doing this thing of, okay, how can I make a video of this? What can I use here? How can I make a good talk out of this piece of information? Which I think comes from just this way that I feel that I need to create, that I need to produce, because that's how I determine my worth. Because that response I have ties in with this other fact about me, which is one of the most common triggers of anxiety for me is feeling unproductive. And I find it particularly in relation to making these videos. When I'm not making videos, I feel unproductive. I feel like I look unproductive to all the people subscribed. I look inconsistent, like I'm slacking, and it causes me a lot of anxiety. Like, if I don't have some evidence or proof that I am working hard, being productive, it causes me to be anxious in many aspects of my life. And I think a big reason for that is that for most of my life, I've been fed with this hustle culture that our society tells us. Grind 24/7, make moves, no sleep, produce, 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 which has merit, no doubt. Productivity is good, but the problem comes in making that my identity. Because if that hustle culture is your identity, then your worth is defined by how much you produce. And isn't that what our society tells us all the time? And I believed it. And it's sad because it's not the truth about who I am. My worth is not defined by how much I produce or how much I do, but by the one great thing that Christ did, completely exterior to myself. Because if we look at our lives in the light of the cross, Christ says, "You're worth my life, and you didn't do a single thing to deserve it." I didn't produce a single thing for the God of the universe to sacrifice his life for me, and the world just doesn't tell you that. And I can sit here and say that I've believed that, but my identity has never quite aligned. So the challenge for myself is to make that my new truth, that I am not defined by my productivity, but by my sonship and my relation to my Savior. And in all honesty, I really don't know what that looks like up here. I don't know how to make that shift from I need to be constantly producing to something else, because I still need to be productive in a sense, right? My identity doesn't mean to crawl completely inward and do nothing, but how do I moderate that? And how do I rediscover living without the pressure to produce my own worth? I read last night in this book, which was a catalyst of sorts for this video. I'm only like 50 pages in or so, but it's good so far. Something along the lines of, loving becomes easier when you are free from being the center of the universe. And what hit me in a sense was that this production-based salvation thing that I've been doing is me making myself the center of the universe, that I am trying to produce and prove my own worth, essentially meriting my own salvation. But life is easier when we take a step back and let Christ take his rightful place at the center. It frees us up to live like we're supposed to love God and neighbor. So this video is the reminder to myself and to you to stop trying to produce your own worth, to be your own savior, stop buying into the hustle culture, and start building your identity and your worth on the cross.